Yes, welcome to everyone. This is See Through. It is a podcast with me, Achita Gopi, where we all come together. We gain some clarity on spiritual Vedic texts and scriptures, and we try and help each other navigate the many meanings of those sacred scriptures and texts. Thank you. Um, but this is quite like a monumental day. Today is the celebrated day of Gopashtami. In short, Gopashtami is such a beautiful festival within Sri Vrindavan Dham, the eternal playground of Sri Krishna. And within Vrindavan Dham, Krishna was a cowherd boy. He was helping his father take care and herd cows and calves. And for the first 5-6 years of his life, he was only herding the calves. And then on a celebrated day, on the Ashtami during Kartik, the 8th day of the waxing lunar cycle during Kartik, his father said, now it's time. It's time that you should start tending to the cows. It's time that you get a promotion. And so God gets a promotion this day. And then, as we've said in Vrindavan, what does everybody do anytime God does anything? We have a party. And so now we get to have a huge party because God got a promotion. He's also kind of crowned the crown prince of Vrindavan on this day. And we will get to that a little bit later. But we had been speaking about the pastime of Govardhan Puja. We've been spending many days talking about Govardhan. Today we're going to talk about what happens after. So if you are a regular here, thank you for being here. It's so good to see so many of you here. And so good to see those of you who are with us on YouTube, those of you who are with us in our Zoom room. I am forever indebted and grateful to you all for being here. Today is a very busy and special day for me. Tomorrow, I go on a little bit of a spontaneous, not so spontaneous, but kind of spontaneous trip to Sri Vrindavan Dham to spend the last few days of Kartik. So if you're wondering, you're like, what's happening with Achita? Why haven't we seen her in a few days? That's why I'll be in transit. And then lots of fun posts and updates from the very playground that we've been speaking about. And I have to say, the prayers act quickly because we did pray. We were praying over a week ago, and I was saying prayers to Govardhan. Oh, Govardhan, please fulfill our desires. Oh, Giriraj, please fulfill our desires, and all of the things. And it seems like you ask, and Giriraj Baba says, okay. So I will carry all of your prayers with me. On this day of Gopashtami, on behalf of all of us, I did send a beautiful donation to Care for Cows in Vrindavan so that they could do Go Seva and Go Puja. And I made sure to definitely, I said a prayer for everyone involved that has been here on See Through Patreon, that has been here on See Through YouTube. I made sure I said a prayer for all of us, for this Gopashtami, for Go Seva to be done, and for us to get the blessings of Sri Govinda Gopal, the protector, the nourisher of all the cows and the senses and every single soul. So it's a monumentous day for all of us. You know, we get to celebrate. And if you think you haven't gotten to celebrate, you have. I did it on behalf of all of us. So don't worry. It's all there. Krishna is taking care of every single detail, even the ones that we might have forgotten. So, of course, before we can get into all of the sweetness and the goodies of today's packed lunch of Krishna Katha, we should sing Damodarashtakam. Very, very wonderful and auspicious time to sing this prayer to Lord Damodar. I'll sing it and I'll read the translation, and then we will dive into the unlimited lake of sweetness that is the coronation of Shri Krishna. Woohoo! I'm excited already. Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Namamishwarang Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Bialu Kala Davamanam Param Rishtamatyanta Drutya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetram Yugmam Rijantam Karam Bojayugmena Satanka Netram Muhuswasakam Patrire Kankakanta Stita Grevam Damodaram Bhaktipadam Iti Driksalila Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akyapayantam Tadiyeshitagyeshu Bhakterjitatvam Puna prematastam sata vritti vande Ovaram deva moksham na mokshavadim va Nachanyam vrineham pare sadapiha Idam teva purnata gopala balam Sada me manasya virastam kimanye Idam te mukhang vojam atyantaniler Vritam kuntale snigdha raktascha gopya Mohoshumbitam bimba raktadaram me Manasya virastamalam lakshalabhe O Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhuka Jalabdi Magnam Kripa Drishti Brishyati Dinambatanu Grihane Shamamagyam Edyakshidrisha Kuveratmajo Badha Mrutyaiva Yadvat Tvaya Mochito Bhakti Bhajakrito Cha Tata Prema Bhaktim Sakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha O Namaste Stu Damne Spuradipti Damne Tvadiya Narayata Vishwasya Damne Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Shri Yashoda Damodar ki jai, Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Bolo Govinda Gopal ki jai. So of course, we need a translation. And I really do love these translations. They are pretty much unlike any poetry that you will get. And I really do love poetry, and I feel like there's poetry from the West, and then there's poetry from like the Vedas. And it's a completely different level. The way that they are able to say things with so many different meanings using a few words is just astounding. It's incredible. Which is not to put down anything from the West, but I feel like We have to say so much. We really have to use so many words. And there's certain thing about different languages in general. They will have one small phrase and it will evoke all of like emotion and texture and moods and colors and scents and sounds and all of the things. And in that regard, English, because it has borrowed from so many languages, can sometimes be a little bit clunky, a little bit bulky, a little bit lacking. So now that we've sung this beautiful Sanskrit, now we can read the translation, because it's always great to know what we just said. All right, let's see. To the Supreme Lord, who is an embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked like with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound, not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O my Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours, as little Bal Gopal in Vrindavan, may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord. Be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes. Jai Shri Radha Damodar ki Jai. It gets sweeter and sweeter every time. And if we're ever wondering how that's possible, this is the nature of Krishna's pastimes. They kind of get sweeter and sweeter every time. I have been worshiping Krishna for 38 years. I want to say, okay, fine. Over 38 years. Because even while I was, in the womb, my mother was reading Srimad Bhagavatam. and she would read Krishna book. And I was hearing details about the story of Lord Damodar being bound that I'd never heard before. Every year I go and read these pastimes. I go and look up different things. And this year, 38 years in this pastime is still ever fresh and ever new. I mean, 5,000 years in the pastime still ever fresh and ever new. You know, it's unlimited. And this is the nature of Krishna. Like a beautiful lotus of sweetness and blessings and grace. He's ever expanding, ever opening, widening those petals if we have a desire. All it takes is just a little desire. And Krishna understands and sees that desire within the heart. Oh, you want to know me? No problem, let me reveal some things. As Mother Yashoda had caught Krishna by the hand, and she asks him, why are you so restless? Why are you stealing? Oh, king of thieves, who do you think you are? Why are you stealing? And Krishna is trying to wipe his face. I didn't do anything. But of course, as he turns, Gopal Champu and Ananda Vrindavan Champu, they say that he still had the effulgence of the butter and yogurt all over his face and body. Anybody who has ever done anything with ghee, like during this month, if you've been lighting ghee lamps, you know that once you touch that ghee, even if you wash your hands, the shine is still there. It is so powerful. The effulgence is still there on your hands. Now imagine this boy has been rolling around and eating all of this yogurt and ghee and butter. How incredible. And so he's saying, but mother, I didn't steal anything. She's saying, oh, well then how did the yogurt pot break? He says, nothing happens without the sanction of divine providence, mother. This little 3.5, 4-year-old boy, right? Nothing happens without the will of the divine. Mother, the Supreme Lord ordered it, and so it broke. It's a bad little boy. So incredibly naughty. She says, oh, I see. The yogurt pot broke because of divine will. Yes, mother. Well, then how did the monkeys get in? You were feeding them. You let the monkeys... I didn't let them in. You left the window open. What? How could it be my fault? Knowing full well that absolutely... Well, yes, technically he is telling the truth. Nothing happens without the sanction of divine providence. Krishna, who is the source of divine providence, he willed that the butter pot and the yogurt pot should break, and so they broke. However, when he tells his mother, you left the window open, then the monkeys climb in. I was simply chasing them out. I was trying to save your butter. I was being a good boy. I was a savior. How could you blame me? Also, mother, you wear these very heavy anklets, and a jewel fell off those anklets as you were running. And as the jewel fell off, it ricocheted up and hit the yogurt pot, and it broke. It was your fault, actually. It wasn't me. Oh, it wasn't you. This is the child that Yashoda has to deal with all the time. So when we hear, seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he's crying and rubbing his lotus eyes again and again with his 2 lotus hands. He sees this stick and she says, stop where you are, thief, stop running. He says, drop the stick and I'll stop running. She takes a step toward him. He goes running again. She said, I said stop. He said, I said drop the stick. Unless you drop that stick, I can't stop. So afraid of his mother he is. A little boy who can hold up mountains, who can bring down trees. He cannot untie the ropes of affection that his devotees have bound him with. Incredible. Ever new. Ever new. Hearing so many wonderful details about this pastime, I think we could speak the whole month just about Damodar Lila. And I so wish that I had the capacity and the wherewithal to be live every day just to speak about this pastime again and again and again, because the more we speak about it, the more Krishna says, oh, you're eager? Let me show you more of me. It's like a transcendental game of hide and seek, which they do have so many hide and seek pastimes, you know? All across the mountain caves of the peaks of Govardhan Hill. They have these hide and seek pastimes. So Krishna's playing with all of us. How incredible. One of the reasons that Krishna decided, he looks over and he sees these two big trees. And he says, these trees have been here for a very long time. Millenniums they've been here, standing. But why does Krishna decide now is the time to free the trees from their curse? Right? Nalakuvara and Manigriva, liberated from their curse in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. Why does Krishna decide now is the time? Because he understands how it feels to be on a timeout. He feels sorry for them. Now he's bound up. He can't go anywhere. He can't move. He can't do what he wants. Now he understands, oh, this is a problem. And he feels sorry for these trees. Let me go and do something to help them. Krishna understands our plight. And so I tell him, I'm in bondage. I'm stuck. And you who are lovingly within the bondage of your devotees' love, but also you can free everyone from all of their bondage. Free me. Help me. Save me even from myself. I don't always have my own best interests at heart. I have a terrible ego that can flare up at any moment without warning and cause me to do the most uncharacteristic things. Anybody ever feel like that? Our egos could flare up at any moment and make us do the worst things, and then we're so incredibly embarrassed. How in the world did I do that? Oof. And then we think, can Krishna relieve us from that? Will Krishna care? Of course he will. He understands everything. Anything and everything that we are going through or that we have gone through, Krishna not only will save us from, but he empathizes with us. He sympathizes with us. He understands completely what we are going through. It is said that Mother Yashoda had a very beautiful golden waist belt on. And we've heard in Krishna book, it talk about the belt on her waist as she was churning butter that morning. Of course, because, you've got to practice. How can you bind somebody if you've never bound yourself? So she has a beautiful golden waist belt on. This is Yashoda Damodar. How many incredible details from this pastime. Krishna is churning the sweetness of this pastime with ever more and more and more sweet butter coming out. Oh, it is just, it's been amazing. I thought I was researching one thing, and out came so much sweetness from Damodar Lila. This is the reciprocation of the Lord. When we sing these pastimes, and then we read the translations, and then we think, oh my Lord, let me just focus on this pastime. I have nothing better to do in these 8 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes, nothing better to do than to be here with you. Krishna is enticed by the aroma of our affection. And he comes running. He wakes up. As Mother Yashoda was churning and singing about him, he wakes up. Because when we sing the holy names, the Lord can't ignore us. He finds it impossible to ignore us. So, soon we will be celebrating Uttana Ekadashi, which means Utto Utto, wake up. We had Shayan Ekadashi 4 months ago, and we said, okay, go to sleep. Now we have Uttana Ekadashi, wake up. Wake up, my Lord, wake up. You've been sleeping for 4 months. Now is the time to wake up. It is to be celebrated, Hari Bhakti Vilas says, with loud kirtan. Processions. They say, put the Lord on a cart, take him around your city, your town, your village. Literally. So on that Uttana Ekadashi, if you have a picture of the Lord, if you have a small deity that you can take with you, put him in your car, drive around. Put him in a friend's car and drive around. It says that wherever the Lord glances that day, it becomes incredibly blessed and auspicious. So we can do the best welfare work for all of our towns and villages. We can do the best social work ever, just by taking our Krishna for a ride. Modern day chariots, you know. Put him in your car, just drive him around, let him glance out the window. Let him see everything. So now we're saying, wake up, wake up. So when we are chanting the glories of the holy name, when we are having this Krishna Katha, Krishna finds it impossible to ignore. He wakes up. Let me go see what's happening. Rubs his sweet little eyes. There's a big, big stretch. And what I also heard is, and there's a beautiful lecture that our dear Amarendra gives. And he states and reminds us all that Krishna's so small, he kind of looks over the edge of the bed. How do I get down now? His legs are so small. The bed is raised up so high. So then he flips over onto his belly. That belly which is the abode of the entire universe. And he kind of wriggles backward. And now he's reaching out with one little lotus foot. Where's the floor? Where's the floor? Where's the floor? A little bit afraid. Am I going to make it? Finally, his little toes touch the floor. Okay. Then he goes walking on the unsteady feet to his mother. How incredibly sweet is our Krishna. Heart captivating, isn't it? If you are not smiling right now, your heart's made of stone. I'm so sorry. So sorry. But what else could we do but smile at this sweet boy? This is what I want to remember when I know Krishna's troubling me in my life. When God gets on my nerves, so I know it will happen. With any relationship, it happens. And we all have such a deep, intimate relationship with Krishna. He is going to stress us out. He's going to aggravate us. He's going to cause so much turmoil in the mind, so much so that even his mother is thinking, why are you like this? When that happens with us, I want to remember that this is the same little boy who was thinking, how do I get off the bed now? Oh. He was in a little bit of anxiety, trying to, with his little foot, to touch the floor. Wriggling back on that belly, which is the abode of the entire universe, his chubby, chubby belly. Because he was so chubby. Nectar of Devotion states that Krishna had 3 like chub rolls on each side. You know, little love handles of supreme divine sweetness on each side. And then he's walking, you know, tottering along. So cute is he. Sometimes our acharyas say, and I know we have to get onto the, like, you know, you get caught up in one ocean of sweetness, and then we're like, I have to move on to another lake of sweetness? Okay, fine. So our acharyas say that sometimes the gopis would ask Krishna, oh, do you see that footstool over there? You know, we have these ottomans, you know, they come with your furniture set, they're a nice little footstool. They say, oh, Kanha, bring us the footstool. Krishna would say, okay, I'm very strong. And he would walk over to the footstool, and he would try as he might, but he can't lift it. And he would try again, and he can't lift it. And he would try again, and he can't lift it, and he would get so frustrated. He who holds all of the universes cannot lift a footstool. And he gets so frustrated, and he gets so angry that he begins to pout and breathe heavily. And he begins to growl a little bit because he is also still the source of Lord Nrsingadev. And so 3.5, 4-year-old little boys, and he gets so frustrated, with his lotus foot, he kicks the footstool. Nonsense footstool. Who wants you anyway? I don't want to bring it. Because now he's sad. Because he can't. What do we mean he can't? He's the Supreme Lord. He can do anything. But when he is bound by the love of his devotees, he can't. Because that is sweetness. That is what brings joy to all of their hearts. So, speaking about when our egos get out of control and when they make us do the most uncharacteristic things, oof, what would this be without speaking about Indra? Indra gladly, well, I don't know if it's gladly actually, but he gratefully for us, he takes on the role of making many, many mistakes. And I won't put all of you into the same category, but I have been known to speak badly of Indra sometimes because I'm like, what are you doing? How could you? What is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Like, what is he doing? But really, sometimes I'm also speaking about myself that way. You know, I find myself really kind of looking back, reassessing my life choices, going, why are you like this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And so Indra had previously tried to wipe the Brijbasis off the face of the earth with all of his might and the Samvartaka clouds, which were not necessary, but he used them anyway. And then he realizes his great mistake. Now we're in a bind. It's a problem. And then Indra goes to so many people, you know, can anyone help me? I've made a mistake and I need to apologize. And none of the Devatas are willing. They're like, I don't know. Once you mess with the Brijbasis, it gets really murky. Best that you go to the creator of the entire universe, ask him for help. I mean, he's been in your position. Maybe he can help you. As we remember, Lord Brahma stole all the boys and calves. That was a big problem, yes? So now he goes to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma's like, didn't you learn from my example? Didn't you learn from my mistakes? No? You better go immediately in person and apologize. And don't go by yourself. Take Surabhi with you. Krishna loves cows. Take the divine mother of all cows with you. Maybe she can help you apologize. It is stated in the nuances of Srimad Bhagavatam that when Indra first arrives there, he sees Krishna, and Krishna's kind of glancing off into the distance. Krishna is lounging on a part of Govardhan Hill, and he's glancing off into the distance, and Indra arrives. And Krishna finally, oh, Indra, it is you. Okay, let's be real. Krishna knew that Indra was there the whole time. But it says that Krishna was so angry he wouldn't even look at Indra. He had to get his anger under control before he could even look at Indra. I was like, oh no. It's one of those moments where you're like, oh Lord, please don't let me do it. I know I must have done it in the past, but don't let me do it again. So now we will read from chapter 27 of Krishna book. Prayers by Indra, the king of heaven. And then we will get into loads and loads and loads and loads of details. Because why not? Oh my God. The details of this pastime, I love them so much. I cannot wait to share them with you. Oh, I'm so excited. So chapter 27 of Krishna book. Prayers by Indra, the king of heaven. When Krishna saved the inhabitants of Vrindavan from the wrath of Indra by lifting Govardhan Hill, a Surabhi cow from Goloka Vrindavan, as well as King Indra from the heavenly planets, appeared before him. Indra, the king of heaven, was conscious of his offense before Krishna. Therefore, he stealthily, secretly, appeared before him in a secluded place. Because nobody really wants to get chastised in public. You know, it's like, let me go in private. He immediately fell down at the lotus feet of Krishna, although his own crown was dazzling like sunshine. Indra knew about the exalted position of Krishna because Krishna is the master of Indra. But he could not believe that Krishna could come down and live in Vrindavan among the cowherd men. When Krishna defied the authority of Indra, Indra became angry because he thought that he was all in all within this universe and that no one was as powerful as he. But after this incident, his false, puffed up prestige was destroyed. Being conscious of his subordinate position, he appeared before Krishna with folded hands and began to offer the following prayers. And these are prayers that I have wanted to imbibe within my own life because, like I said, whenever I look at Indra, I think, why are you like this? And then I realize there's not so much difference between himself and myself. There's no difference between what Indra will do and what I will do. So, my dear Lord, Indra said, being puffed up by my false prestige, I thought that you had offended me by not allowing the cowherd men to perform the Indra Yagya, and I thought that you wanted to enjoy the offerings that were arranged for the sacrifice. I thought that in the name of a Govardhan sacrifice, you were taking my share of profit, and therefore I mistook your position. Do you ever feel like that? I thought that you had offended me by not allowing the cowherd men to perform the Indra Yagya. Sometimes we've been praying for something and then God doesn't give it to us, and then we become offended at God. I thought that you had offended me by not giving me what I wanted when I wanted, exactly in the way that I wanted it. And so many times I lash out at my best friend, saying, who are you? How could you? How could you? You've never given me anything good in my life. As I take breath after breath that the Lord has given me in my life. You've never given me what I wanted, what I needed. I'm suffering now because of you. We are suffering because of ourselves. And Krishna is working hard to alleviate that suffering. But there are mountains and mountains and mountains of suffering. Sometimes what we are getting is simply a tinge, the effulgence of the suffering that we should have gotten, not realizing that we are sheltered under the umbrella of Krishna's grace and causeless mercy. Yet we get offended just like Indra. Or at least I do. I'm speaking now, quite honestly, candidly, because as Krishna says, you shouldn't hide anything from family members. So now, because you are all my virtual Vrindavan Vasis, my family, yes, this is me. I get easily offended when Krishna doesn't give me what I want when I want it. When Krishna has a different plan, I am quick to get offended. I simply do not have the power at my disposal to launch an attack on God. But if I had that power, I probably would have. But I am one small, minute jiva. So now all I can do is huff and puff and throw tantrums and get upset. And threaten God, You didn't give me what I won't worship you anymore. Well, isn't this exactly what Indra is saying? I mistook your position. How many times have I mistook your position? Oh my Lord, I have been so mistaken. I beg your pardon. Forgive me for being so mistaken about who you really are. Yes, you are my friend. Yes, you are my ultimate, absolute beloved. Yes, you are the Lord of my life. You are my all in all. But also, let me not forget that you are incredibly powerful. So much more powerful than me, and your plan is infinitely, divinely better than mine. Let me not forget. Let me not get carried away by this mind which whispers the most vile, poisonous things to me. Krishna doesn't care about you. Look what's happening with your life. If Krishna cared about you, then he would be showing you. What about if I cared about Krishna, if I would be showing him? If I cared about Krishna, then I would be showing him. I wouldn't be able to stop chanting the holy names. I wouldn't think that there was something else that I had to do. I wouldn't be so concerned with everything else. If I cared, I would show him. Even even as simple as just being engaged always here and here. Maybe we don't have the physical capacity to do everything. It's fine. We heard how Govardhan was accepting the invisible offerings, those which were offered in the mind. Govardhan was still eating them. Krishna is accepting these offerings. When we recite the mantras of offering our food. Srila Prabhupada writes in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when we are saying the prayers, Krishna begins his eating. His appetite grows, not from what is being offered, but because we are saying those prayers from our heart. He is now gorging himself on our affection. Kind of puts a different spin on saying grace, doesn't it? When we offer a prayer before we eat anything, Krishna is there, ready. Oh, I'm hungry, always. Imagine if you really, because I really love cooking, but part of the reason I love cooking is to feed other people. And imagine if you had a friend, and you're like, are you hungry? And their answer is always. For your cooking, always. Think about it, if they're like, for your cooking, always. I am starving for it at all times. We would I'd never stop cooking. No problem. I'd learn new dishes and try to perfect the other dishes because this person is so eager to eat. Specifically mine. And in Hindi, it's like hot kakana, it's so much sweeter. I'm ready to eat from your hand. I want the food from your hands. This is our Krishna. And so many times I've mistaken his position. I've been so mistaken about our relationship. I am thinking that I have to do something. I am thinking that, oh, Krishna, you should be fulfilling my desires, my orders. When really, I would gain the ultimate happiness just from making Krishna pleased with me. That's all I need. Now, by your grace, Indra continues, I can understand that you are the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, and that you are transcendental to all material qualities. Your transcendental position is Vishuddha Sattva, which is above the platform of the material mode of goodness. And your transcendental abode is beyond the disturbance of the material qualities. Your name, fame, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes are all beyond this material nature, and they are never disturbed by the three material modes. Your abode is accessible only for one who undergoes severe austerities and penances and becomes completely freed from the onslaughts of material qualities like passion and ignorance. Now, if what Indra is saying is true, and Krishna's abode can only be attained by one who undergoes severe austerities and penances, what have we been doing? Have we been doing any austerities and penance? Well, then what hope is there for us? Our acharyas state that Radharani undergoes a severe type of tapasya every day. Every day. The most severe type of tapasya in all the three worlds. That tapasya, that austerity, is simply separation from Krishna. There's our hope. All of us who are living in this God-forsaken place, separated from Krishna, we are performing the most austere tapasya and penances every day, simply being separated from our Krishna. So the good thing is, we're becoming eligible. Every day that we focus our minds on Krishna, every day that we even cry in separation, thinking, Krishna, how did I get here? And why am I so far from you? Tapasya, austerities. This is what is gaining us our entrance back home. so that we never have to leave again. Isn't that so hopeful? Krishna makes it so easy. Just when my brain starts to feel like it's going to explode under the weight of like all the things that we have to do, and I'm like, I can't do any of that. I feel like Krishna trying to lift the footstool. Who needs it anyway? I can't do it. Krishna says, don't worry, friend. Don't worry. I've got it covered. You're already performing austerities in tapasya, simply being separated from me. And that separation is just an illusion. We are never separated from Krishna, but somehow or other, he creates this illusion just to facilitate us doing the tapasya that helps us gain entrance to go back home. And we say we don't have an awesome friend. How incredibly awesome is our friend? The chapter before this was named Wonderful Krishna. How wonderful is our Krishna? Srila Prabhupada says we should think of Krishna as my Krishna. He is my Govinda. Therefore, I must do something for my Krishna. How wonderful is our Krishna? If someone thinks that when you enter within this material world, you accept the modes of material nature, he is mistaken. The waves of the material qualities are never able to touch you, and you certainly do not accept them when you are present within this world. Your lordship is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. My dear Lord, you are the original father of this cosmic manifestation. You are the supreme spiritual master of this cosmic world, and you are the original proprietor of everything. As eternal time, you are competent to chastise offenders. Within this material world, there are many fools, like me, who consider themselves to be the supreme Lord, or the all in all within the universe. You are so merciful that without accepting their offenses, you devise means so that their false prestige is subdued, and they can know that you, and no one else, are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Father, the Supreme Spiritual Master, and the Supreme King. Therefore, you have the right to chastise all living entities whenever there is a discrepancy in their behavior. The Father, the Spiritual Master, and the Supreme Executive Officer of the state are always well-wishers of their sons, their students, and their citizens, respectively. As such, the well-wishers have the right to chastise their dependents. By your own desire, you appear auspiciously on the earth in your eternal varieties of forms. You come to glorify the earth planet, and specifically to chastise persons who are falsely claiming to be God. So Indra is also admitting his mistakes, the many mistakes, right? In the material world, there is regular competition between different types of living entities to become supreme leaders of society, because Indra thinks he is one. And after being frustrated in achieving the supreme positions of leadership, foolish persons claim to be God, the Supreme Personality, which Indra also did. There are many such foolish personalities in this world, like me, but in due course of time, when they come to their senses, they surrender unto you and again engage themselves properly by rendering service unto you. And that is the purpose of your chastising persons envious of you. Indra is also trying to remind the Lord. See, but look, I'm learning, and I'm also going to try and surrender. So he's also trying to tell the Lord, like, chastise me, but not a lot. And isn't that also us? Like, okay, I know I've got to, like, be chastised for my mistakes, but please, Lord, not a lot. And, like, not more than once. Just, like, do it once, get it over with in private. Don't let anybody see. Like, just do the chastising secretly, but not a lot. And then let me go. My dear Lord, I committed a great offense unto your lotus feet, being falsely proud of my material opulences, not knowing your unlimited power. Therefore, my Lord, kindly excuse me, because I am fool number one. That is such a Prabhupada statement, if ever there was one. Fool number one is such a Prabhupada-ism. And whenever I see it, I feel like I hear his voice in my head. Our dear grandfather is so amazing. Fool number one. Kindly give me your blessing so that I may not act so foolishly again. If you think, my Lord, that the offense is very great and cannot be excused, then I appeal to you that I am your eternal servant. You appear in this world to give protection to your eternal servants and to destroy the demons who maintain great military strength, just to burden the very existence of the earth. as I am your eternal servant. Kindly excuse me. He's trying to remind him, I'm actually not a demon, even though I acted like one, but I'm not. So I deserve your protection. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the Supreme Person and the Supreme Soul. You are the son of Vasudev, and you are the Supreme Lord Krishna, the master of all pure devotees. Please accept my prostrated obeisances. You are the personification of supreme knowledge. You can appear anywhere according to your desire in any one of your eternal forms, which we've talked about before, includes dreams, friends. You are the root of all creation and the supreme soul of all living entities. Due to my gross ignorance, I created a great disturbance in Vrindavan by sending torrents of rain and a heavy hailstorm. I acted out of severe anger caused by your stopping the sacrifice which was to be held to satisfy me. But my dear Lord, you are so kind to me that you have bestowed your mercy upon me by destroying all my false pride. I therefore take shelter of your lotus feet. My dear Lord, you are not only the supreme controller, but also the supreme master, the spiritual master of all living entities. Thus praised by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, smiled beautifully, and then replied in a grave voice like a rumbling cloud, My dear Indra, I stopped your sacrifice just to show you my causeless mercy, and to remind you that I am your eternal master. I am the master not only of you, but of all the other demigods as well. You should always remember that all your material opulences are due to my mercy. No living entity can independently become opulent. One must be favored by my mercy. Everyone should always remember that I am the Supreme Lord. I can show anyone my favor, and I can chastise anyone, because no one is superior to me. If I find someone overpowered by false pride, in order to show him my causeless mercy, I withdraw all his opulences. It is noteworthy that Krishna sometimes removes all of a rich man's opulences in order to facilitate his becoming a soul surrendered to him. This is a special favor of the Lord's. Sometimes it is seen that a person is very opulent materially, but due to his devotional service to the Lord, he may be reduced to poverty. This is all outward, by the way. One should not think, however, that because he worshipped the Supreme Lord, he became poverty-stricken. The real purport is that when a person is a pure devotee, but at the same time, by miscalculation, wants to lord it over material nature, the Lord shows his special mercy by taking away all material opulences, until at last that person surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. We should also remember, though, that when the Lord takes away all the material opulences, if that person is a surrendered soul, he doesn't allow them to feel poverty-stricken. Sometimes you ever see that people just naturally feel like, I don't need all this stuff. I was reflecting on how wealthy I am recently. I thought to myself, I am so incredibly wealthy. The Lord doesn't allow me to worry. He has taken full charge of my life and doesn't allow me to worry. I was thinking about packing, and part of my problem is I have too many clothes. And that's just the material wealth. Spiritually, you know how many details we found? Each one of those is gold. Diamond-studded jewels. We are rich with the nectar of Krishna's pastimes. And I have not given that the importance that it deserves in my life. I have foolishly been thinking, oh my Lord, where's my $1 million? He's like, I've given you 1,000,000 details about me. There's your $1 million that you took, OP. I have innumerable, I know innumerable things about Krishna. If we were to count up all the things that we know about Krishna and think each one of these is at least $500, friends, we are richer than rich. There is no end to our wealth. We are literally like dripping in finesse at this point, you know? Everything 24 karat magic. All the songs, you know? Every bit of it. And when we come here on days like this to glorify our supreme friend, then we become again blessed with unlimited wealth. Just depends on if we can understand and see what form that wealth has taken. Lakshmi Devi now is come knocking at our door. Please, can I reside in this place? You've spoken about Krishna. Please, can I come reside in this place? I've been blessed with a beautiful Tulsi, 2 of them. I'm rich. Vrindavan is here. Where Tulsi's trunk, you know, the tree of the trunk of her branches meets the soil, there is Vrindavan. We are so incredibly wealthy. Even if you have pictures to print out of these spiritual abodes, do you know how wealthy you are? Coming here to gain association of like-minded devotees, sadhus, who knows who is here in this assembly? Those friends that we can't see. All of the devatas have gathered together just to hear this Krishna Katha. Narada Muni has come, Lord Brahma has come, Lord Shiva has come, Kuvera has come, Varuna has come, Vayu has come. Everyone has come just to hear this Krishna Katha, promised to us by Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas. We just don't believe it. If somebody gave you a blank check and we just simply didn't believe in it and then decided not to cash it, that's our mistake, right? Not their mistake. They gave us the blank check. Fill in however much you want. And we're like, this can't be real. I'm not doing that. And then we never cash it, but that person happened to be like the richest person in the entire universe who actually gave us the check. Srila Prabhupada gave us the blank check of Krishna's mercy, form, qualities, names, pastimes. Golokera Premdan. What is the wealth of Goloka? It is the holy name, Harinam Sankirtan. We've been given the blank check of the holy names and we don't cash it. We refuse to put it in the bank. We have been made so cynical by the scams of material nature that we think it's all a scam. I can't cash this check. It's too good to be true. The glories of the holy name are too good to be true. But finally, we can believe in something that seems to be too good to be true. When Krishna's glories seem too good to be true, it's because they are. They are that good. And Krishna is the absolute truth. So if we think we are lacking in material wealth, Sanatana Goswami had a touchstone that could turn anything into gold. And he threw it in the garbage. And a Brahmin comes on the advice of Lord Shiva. Oh, Goswami, I need wealth to prepare for my daughter's marriage. I heard you have some. Sanatana Goswami, who told you I have wealth? I'm living like a mendicant. You see my hut. Who told you I have wealth? Mahadev told me. Oh, my friend. Because Sanatana Goswami and Lord Shiva are the best of friends. I'm not sure if I ever told you this fun fact. Did I tell you why? One of the reasons why they're so close? Oh my God, yes! Okay. Heard this one from Indradumna Maharaj. And I was like yelling at the top of my lungs about how awesome it is. So Sanatana Goswami forever has a Brijabasi mood, yes? Lavanga Manjari. So this is the mood in Krishna's pastime. But as we know, with many of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's so many people in one personality, right? They've given all of, here, take a little potency of mine, take some potency of mine, take some potency of mine. So when it comes to Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's associates, we know that 1 minus 1 still equals 1. right? So even though they've given a portion of themselves, you have the personality there. So Lavanga Manjari is there, but also there are 4 Kumaras, one of which is named Sanatan. He is also Sanatan Kumar. So Sanatan Goswami is the embodiment of Lavanga Manjari and Sanatan Kumar, of the 4 Kumaras. The father of the 4 Kumaras is Lord Brahma, born from the mind of Lord Brahma. Who else was born from the mind of Lord Brahma? Lord Shiva. So they're brothers. So Sanatan Goswami and Lord Shiva are the closest friends. Sanatan Goswami often says, he says, but Mahadev, he's my bosom friend. He's a friend of my dearest heart. He tells Lord Shiva, I cannot live without seeing you every day. And Lord Shiva says, but you're old. You shouldn't walk so far between temples. And Sanatan Goswami says, but you know I cannot live without seeing you every day. Lord Shiva says, no problem. I'll move my temple closer. This is the best friend of the Vaishnavas. It's the best friend of the Vaishnavas. So because they're brothers, they are the best of friends. So this Brahmin says, Mahadev told me, I do have a touchstone. You can turn anything into gold. Well, where is it? Over there. This Brahmin is thinking, in the garbage heap? What is wrong with these Goswamis? He goes and he gets it. Great, no problem. Sanatan Goswami goes back to what he was doing. And then the Brahmin goes and he's testing it out, little Midas touching it to everything. This is gold, that is gold, this is gold, that is, everything is gold. No problem. I would have enough wealth to do anything, everything I wanted with. But there's nagging suspicion in his mind. That strange Goswami looked very happy, and this touchstone was in the dirt. He must have some more wealth that he's hiding from me that he didn't tell me about. He goes back. You must have something more wealthy. You're holding out on me. Give me the real thing. Sanatan Goswami says, well, I have one thing that is more valuable than that touchstone. I can't give it to you. You must give it to me. Okay. First, take the touchstone, throw it in the river. Says, are you sure? It's the cost. Brahman says, okay. And surrenders to the advice of the Vaishnavas. He takes the touchstone, throws it into the river as hard as he can. There it goes. Bloop. Sinks to the bottom, never to be seen. He goes back. He says, now, Baba, give me that most priceless thing. Sanatana Goswami says, you've surrendered. Now you are ready. And into the right ear of this Brahmin, he whispers the most valuable thing that he has, which is the Maha Mantra, the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So some people think you worship Krishna and he takes away all your wealth. He's known as Hari, after all. It's a very precarious thing you're doing. You worship any of the other devatas, they're going to shower you with wealth. You worship Krishna, he takes it away. What is with this God? But what does he give you? If he's taking this all away, there must be something more valuable that Krishna has that he wants to give me. And that's been my meditation. Even when he takes away anything in my life, not just wealth, the things that I desire that don't come to fruition, when I've been feeling the most confused and overwhelmed and in anxiety, there are tears welling up in my eyes as we speak, even as I think about it. And then I think, wait a second. Like that touchstone, he must have something more valuable. Krishna, what are you hiding? We have to go into Brijbasi mode. Krishna, what are you hiding? Give it to me now. Well, he can only give it to us if we surrender and let go of what we were clinging to so tightly with the other hand. If we let him finish his sentence, if we let him finish his plan, he will give us the unlimited wealth of himself. One of our friends is saying, I don't know if I could have thrown away the touchstone. Here, Krishna says, I'll make that decision for you. He rips it from our clinging hands, you know? We are grasping. And he's like, I'm going to make the decision for you because I'm your friend. Give me the stone. Give me the thing. And so it seems as though the things that we've prayed for the most is give me this. Like, why? What is with you? Why do you want that? Because when you surrender that thing that we thought we could not surrender, Krishna says, now you're ready. I'll give you things beyond your wildest imaginations. This is an adventure that I really am yearning to go on. So I know Krishna has taken things from me. I know because I am a woman and women have very long memories. Krishna even says, you know, among women, I'm fine speech, memory, all things, you know? So it's kind of, it's Vedic that if you are stuck, you know, sometimes I feel like they've taken these souls and like that touchstone, it's like plunk, they've plunked you in these bodies. But with those bodies comes some sort of characteristics, one of which for me is a really long memory, especially if somebody's done something I don't like. So now I have a long list. Krishna, these are all the things that you've done and all the ways that you've impacted me negatively. And I start to read off the list of things. But if we can surrender, if I can surrender that list, and at the end of the list, take it. Take it. Fine, have it. Take it. Then Krishna says, oh, you want something more. Now you're ready. I'm yearning to be ready. I'm so yearning to be ready for the day when I chant the holy name and I realize this is my all in all. This is the wealth of the spiritual abode. Right here. Few syllables, few words. It is so easy. I spend my time looking for so many different prayers and kavachas and mantras and tantras and all of the things when every single acharya says the holy name can give you everything. I promise. All right, let's continue. Even though I did say the glory about this Monday is that I can go as long as I want. I do what I want. but let's continue. After instructing Indra, Lord Krishna asked him to return to his kingdom in the heavenly planets and to remember always that he is never the supreme, but is always subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He also advised him to remain as king of heaven, but to be careful of false pride. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he gave Indra all of those instructions. Go, continue, be king, do all the things. Because he's going to need Indra to continue to show his false ego. This comes into play later when Krishna wants a certain parijata tree that happens to reside in the heavens. And Krishna says, oh Indra, I've just saved you all from certain doom, right? By killing the demon Narakasura, which was celebrated just before Diwali. That Chaturdashi was the day that Krishna killed Narakasura. This is, I've killed this Narakasura, thus saving you all from certain doom and death and all of the destruction of the universe. Please give me this one parijata tree. He says, no, that's my tree. He says, well, then I'll take it. Because, you know, everything belongs to me, right? So when we're like, Krishna says, give me this. And we're like, no, it's mine. He says, give me the stone. Give me the tree. He takes the tree and he puts it on the back of Garuda. And then Indra wages war against the very Lord that he was praying to for help 5 minutes ago. And he loses. But in order to display this pastime, which Krishna says, nectar of devotion, Krishna says, I defeated Indra, took a parijata tree, defeated the demigods when they came after me, did all of this to show my devotees that I don't ever break my promise to them. I promised my queen Satyabhama she would have a parijata tree, and I will move heaven and earth literally, because he was moving heaven, to give her that parijata tree, because I do not break my promises to my devotees. This is our Krishna. So if we feel like, Krishna, you've promised me your protection, you have promised me everything, it must not be the end of the story. when we are going through those hard times. There must be more pastime. So this is why he tells Indra, oh yeah, go remain as king of heaven, do all the things. He needs him to still be him for the course of many pastimes. After this, the transcendental Surabhi cow, who had come with Indra to see Krishna, offered her respectful obeisances unto him and worshipped him. The Surabhi offered her prayers as follows. My dear Lord Krishna, you are the most powerful of all mystic yogis, because you are the soul of the complete universe, and only from you has all this cosmic manifestation taken place. Therefore, although Indra tried his best to kill my descendant cows in Vrindavan, they remained under your shelter, and you have protected them all so well. We do not know anyone else as the supreme, nor do we go to any other god or demigods for protection. Therefore, you are our Indra. You are the supreme father of the whole cosmic manifestation, and you are the protector and elevator of all the cows, brahmanas, demigods, and others who are pure devotees of your lordship. O super soul of the universe, let us bathe you with our milk, for you are our Indra. O Lord, you appear just to diminish the burden of impure activities on the earth. So when she says, you are our Indra, you are our Indra, Indra for the cows is Go Indra or Govinda. And she says, you will thus today, from today on, be known as Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. And those who chant this name of yours will always be blessed with your protection. This is our Govinda. He has a coronation day. Yay! Govinda ki jai. The Surabhi cow bathed Krishna with her milk, and Indra bathed him with the water of the celestial Ganges through the trunk of his carrier elephant Airavata. After this, the Surabhi cows and all the demigods and their mothers joined the heavenly king Indra in worshipping Lord Krishna by bathing him with Ganges water and the milk of the Surabhis. Thus, Govinda, Lord Krishna, was pleased with all of them. The residents of all higher planetary systems, such as Gandharvaloka, Vidyadharaloka, Siddhaloka, and Charanaloka, all combined and glorified the Lord by chanting his holy name as their wives and damsels danced with great joy. They very much satisfied the Lord by incessantly pouring flowers from the sky. When everything was very nicely and joyfully settled, the cows overflooded the surface of the earth with their milk. The water of the rivers began to flow with various tasty liquids and give nourishment to the trees, producing fruits and flowers of different colors and tastes. The trees began to pour drops of honey. The hills and mountains began to produce potent medicinal plants and valuable stones. Because of Krishna's presence, all these things happened very nicely, and the lower animals, who were generally envious of one another, were envious no longer. After satisfying Krishna, who is the Lord of all the cows in Vrindavan and who is known as Govinda, King Indra took his permission to return to his heavenly kingdom. As he passed through cosmic space, he was surrounded by all kinds of demigods. This great incident is a powerful example of how Krishna consciousness can benefit the world. Even the lower animals forget their envious nature and become elevated to the qualities of the demigods. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 27th chapter of Krishna, Prayers by Indra, the King of Heaven. Shri Govinda Gopal ki jai. Ah, I love it. Okay, now that was just the tip of the matki, the pot of nectar. Right now we were going around the edge. You ever get a good lassi from India and you open the packet, you open sometimes they'll put a little covering on top and you untie it and then you open it and there's a nice like skin on top and they give you a little wooden spatula that you can take the skin. So that part, we just got like just the very beginning skin of this lassi of Govinda's pastimes. Now we get to drink the yogurt. Now we get to drink the lassi. And this comes from Ananda Vrindavan Champu. It is unlimitedly Ananda. So much bliss. It is going to be so blissful, friends. I promise. Now, where this coronation happened is a place on Govardhan Hill called Govinda Kund. And it is said that if you're pure-hearted and you go there on the right day, the water of Govinda Kund still tastes like milk from the milk of Surabhi that bathed Sri Krishna and the milk of the different Surabhi cows that flooded the earth at that place. Sometimes the water looks a little bit cloudy like milk. Incredible. There are so many benefits to a person who just bathes once in Govinda Kund. One day, friends, we have to do it. And even if we can't do it with our physical bodies, we can do it with our subtle bodies and our minds. Govinda Kund is very beautiful, very large, has nice pavilions. It is a shelter on Govardhan Parikram. Because sometimes by that time it's hot, It's hot. You've been walking for several hours now, you've been doing the things, and then you come to beautiful Govinda Kund. Dive in. Walk down the steps of Govinda Kund and into the beautiful water. Bathe yourselves in the nectarian waters of Sri Govinda Kund. I'm sure I've told you before, but that is what I've named my house in my home temple. It is Govinda Kund over here. Also because I worship Anantadev, and he's a very nice water snake. He likes to live on milk oceans and things. So with Anantadev and Nityananda here, it is a very appropriate name for this place. It is Govinda Kund over here. And so sometimes I will send notes to my family. I'm like, from the devotees of Govinda Kund, we thank you for all of your, sometimes they'll donate flowers and things for Anantadev. I'm like, we thank you for all of your donations and for sponsoring so many things for our Anantadev. And so where you live, name your home. Name your home. Make it a pastime place. Because Krishna is there. And wherever he is Vrindavan. Name your home so that you remember, oh, when I walk into this space is Krishna's space. This is Krishna's pastime stali. Right? This is a place of kirtan and lila and katha and all of the best things. Remind yourself. So that is my advice to you. Name your spaces after your favorite place. Name it after Govardhan. Name it after Radhakund, Shamakund, any of the places. Name your place. And in this way, all over the world, there will be so many Chirgats, so many Keshigats, so many Brahmandakunds, so many different places there will be, so that we will never ever forget that our minds and our hearts should be inundated with Krishna's love and mercy and glories. So I'm looking forward to hearing these different places of pilgrimage that are sprouting up. When I get back, we'll come back on See Through, and then you can all tell me what you've what the working names of your pastime places are. What are your bhajan kutirs named? You think, who am I to have a bhajan kutir? You're a person who has bhajan. That's it. You have some worship, right? You are trying to develop some sadhana, some spiritual practice. You are trying to worship the Lord. Then name your space. And if you are a person who is devoted to bhakti, then name your space according to that. If you are a person who is devoted to another faith, name your space according to that. If you are a Christian, then name your space so that you are always remembering the beautiful pastimes that come with the devotees of God. Name that space. In America, there are many towns named after biblical spaces. You have many Bethlehems here. We have so many different places. So name your space. Remind yourself that this is a spiritual abode. Okay, so that was Govinda Kund. And now we are diving into the pages of Ananda Vrindavan Champu. This lassi smells like sugar. You know, when they put enough sugar in it, and you're like, oh, it's going to be sweet. Just the aroma. So, sometime later, Krishna, being attracted by the opulence of Giriraj, and to get relief from the fatigue of holding him up for a whole week, strolled along a ridge of Govardhan Hill. Krishna walked there alone in order to bestow mercy upon the heavenly king Indra. So Ananda Vrindavan Champu is a wonderful combination of poetry and prose written by an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His name is Kavi Karnapur. So these are his words and details, not mine, because he's doing it better than me at this point. So I thought, why not? The cowherd boys suffered greatly in the absence of their beloved friend. Krishna's pastime of lifting Govardhan Hill had covered the one with 1,000 eyes, Indra, in layers of intense embarrassment. So Indra has thousands of eyes all over his body. That is a story for another time. As a result, Indra abandoned his bad qualities of anger and pride and came to Vrindavan from his heavenly abode, accompanied by a Kamadhenu, a wish-fulfilling cow, who carried the sweet smell of good fortune. Ah, we were just talking about our wealth. Indra wanted to meet Krishna and beg pardon for his grave offense. In her humble way, the Surabhi cow, accompanying Indra, approached Krishna and spoke affectionately with the logic of the goddess of learning. Surabhi said, "O Lord, you are the tilak mark of good fortune on the head of the capital of Nanda Maharaj. Please hear my words attentively. You are famous throughout the universe and worshipable by all living beings. You are incomprehensible, and you manifest incredible opulence in this world. Even if hundreds of angry Indras try to kill the cows and gopas with fast-moving ferocious clouds, pouring torrents of rain, you will always protect Gokula and saturate its residents with complete bliss. Being pleased by your merciful behavior, Brahma anxiously told me, O goddess Surabhi, go, happily bathe the Indra of Gokula, who is the beloved son of Nanda Maharaj. Under Krishna's compassionate protection, the Brijbasis, who are praised by the poets, rebelled against Indra, even though they are not envious of him. I am well known for my own misdeed of previously stealing Krishna's boyfriends and cows. Surabhi, I will follow you on my swan along with the Munis, Rishis, Kinnaras, Janaras, Siddhas, and demigods in order to relish the spiritual bliss of this pastime." Surabhi continued, "Hey Krishna Chandra, just see the person standing behind me. He is always overwhelmed with grief from his anger and offenses. Casting his eyes down in shame, he repents for his rude and arrogant actions. Within his mind, he is always rebuking himself. He really wants to be forgiven for his grave offenses to you, but he is afraid to step forward. If you allow, he will come and submit his petition." Indra wiped tears from his 1,000 eyes and got down from his mountain of false pride. As he lay on the ground, surrendered to the Lord, it appeared that the radiance from the expensive gems on his crown illuminated the lotus feet of Krishna. After lying a long time on the ground, he didn't even want to get up. He was in so much trouble. Indra stood up, folded his hands, and bowed his head. With fear and devotion in his heart, he gazed at Krishna's jewel-like toenails, glowing like moonshine. Out of ignorance and false pride, he had previously acted foolishly. Now humbled, Indra offered prayers to Lord Krishna. King Indra said, "Krishna, you are the Lord of all lords. You are the beloved son of the king of Vrindavan. Your nature is to be totally independent. Grand festivals are held just to worship you. You are the highest truth, so it is difficult for someone like me to understand your greatness. Those blinded by the arrogance of pride become intoxicated by drinking the wine of their false egos. Then how can they think favorably about your glories? Since their eyes are diseased, they cannot perceive their own perverted actions. They're just like owls that cannot see the light of the radiant sun." He's speaking a lot about eyes because he has a lot of them. "Therefore, O kind one, please listen to me. It is quite befitting that you stopped my sacrifice in order to severely punish one whose vision had been so infected with false pride. For a blind man, a stick is the best medicine. O Lord, you are an ocean of compassion. Although you taught me a good lesson, I took it in the wrong way. The intelligence of hypocrites always directs them to act incorrectly. What can be said of us who lust after the poison of sense gratification, if even the greatest sages, who are free from material attachments, can become agitated by the powerful mode of passion? Unless your insurmountable illusory energy acts, then how can false ego exist? All glories to you, the benevolent one. Now Indra's also saying, like, also the false ego is also due to you. Of course, don't we always long to take some of the heat off of ourselves? Krishna, this was all your fault too? All glories to you, the benevolent one. You are the essence of everything in the three worlds. You are the embodiment of auspiciousness for Vrindavan. O matchless one, O Damodar, you are the abode of transcendental names and qualities. O friend of Dama, Sudama, and Vasudama, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You are difficult to know. Please do not cover us with illusion. O Lord, be kind to us. With a slight sidelong glance from your eyes, you can cause fortune or misfortune. O unborn one, although you never take birth, you appear in unlimited incarnations. In bygone times, you pleased the demigods and enjoyed yourself by becoming Upendra or Vamanadev. Upendra because he is known as the little brother of Indra. So Indra, of course, is going to say, you became Upendra. You don't really want to chastise your elder brother, do you? Right? Let me just remind you of all the ways in which we're connected so that you show mercy upon me. Just now you will enjoy being bathed by Surabhi. You are the blue sapphire crest jewel in the crown of the Indras in every universe. O lifter of the great mountain of Govardhan, although previously known as Abhiram, beautiful and pleasing, you will now be known by the name Govinda, which your devotees will regularly chant. Go means tending and caring for cows, O Lord. From today, everyone will call you Govinda. I have goosebumps already every time you say Govinda, there's goosebumps. Woo! After becoming purified of his false pride by glorifying Krishna, Indra commenced the auspicious bathing ceremony. Brahma, the four Kumaras, Uma or Parvati, Mahadev, Tamburu, Kartikeya, Narada, and Savita attended Krishna's Abhishek. Many exalted rishis and sages beautified the assembly. The effulgent wives of the demigods, such as Arundhati, Vashishta Muni's wife, also visited. The celestial apsaras like Urvashi, watching from the sky, enhanced the festival with their splendid forms and qualities. Are we ready to hear about this Abhishek, which crowns Krishna as Govinda, king of the cows? Govardhan, with the limbs of his own body, provided an elegant throne made of smooth stones and jewels. The demigod Varuna personally held a fine white umbrella over Krishna's head, which had a fringe of hanging pearls that appeared like falling raindrops. Just think, each one of these details is wealth. It's a festival of wealth and opulence. Vayu, his arm trembling in ecstatic devotion, stood beside the Lord, fanning him with a chamara whisk. Well, of course, the god of wind would be fanning. The full moon assumed the form of a mirror made of jewels. Panchajanya, the Lord's conch shell, sanctified the atmosphere with loud sounds. The effulgent Sudarshan chakra expanded as many lamps to illuminate all directions. Krishna's white lotus flower expanded into many white umbrellas to shield the Lord. Komodaki, the Lord's club, who is honored for his strength, sometimes described as a she, stood like a jeweled pillar for the bathing ceremony. The personified forms of the sacred oceans, rivers, ponds, and lakes came with pots of water to bathe Krishna. Mother Bhumi, the goddess of the earth, collected the finest quality earth in a box covered with 7 jewels. Placing the box on a jeweled plate, she slowly approached Krishna and offered it to him. The best herbs and medicinal plants, personified, presented themselves for Krishna's service. Great sacred trees, such as the banyan and peepal, manifested in person to give Krishna leaves containing the 5 types of tastes in golden pots studded with gems of lapis lazuli. The forest gods from the 10 directions brought water pots covered with coconuts and various delicious fruits. The Lord of the Mountains brought exotic gems and jewels. The 9 jewels, the Navaratnas. If anybody has ever done gemology for astrology, you'll know there's 9 jewels. So now these 9 jewels also take a personified form. The 9 jewels, the 8 yogic siddhis, the best jewels like Chintamani, Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow, and desire trees all assume charming human-like forms to worship the Lord. Standing at a distance, they faced Krishna with folded hands. The goddess of Mount Sumeru offered a golden cloth, and the goddess of the Himalayas presented splendid necklaces. The goddess of Gandhamadana mountain brought golden lotuses from Mansarovar lake and personally strung a garland for Krishna. Wow, he's having a real party. The goddess of the Malaya mountain delivered the best quality sandalwood. Grinding it on a stone from Govardhan, she made a smooth paste for Krishna. This Govardhan is here today still. We can see these things if we give our hearts to really truly believing this vision is reality. Without the knowledge of her husband, Parvati handed Krishna a gorgeous jeweled necklace. With their own hands, the Saptarishis, the 7 great sages, plucked fresh lotus buds from the Mandakini river to offer to the Lord. When needed for service, the sun god made the lotus flowers blossom for the Lord. The shining of the moon appeared as brilliant as a mirror. Agni, the god of fire, offered an artistically designed golden incense pot with a hanging fringe made of coral. The best quality aguru scent burned in the pot and rose into the sky through its thousands of holes. So we hear about this scent aguru a lot. Krishna's body smells like aguru. We are now seeing this incense burning aguru. And I was kind of like looking up what aguru was like today. Like, what is this scent? What in the world? And it turned out to be oud. Anybody know that scent? There's a fragrance called oud. And I never used to like it because I was being an elitist, right? And I was like, this is not Vedic. This came here through somebody else, you know? Like, this came here through different peoples from different lands. This is not Vedic. All the while forgetting that I myself come through a different land from different people. And so I was like, oh, I don't like this. And then I was reading and looking it up because I found a type of oud perfume. It's a rose oud that I actually really love. And it smells like Vrindavan. So then I was looking up oud and they were saying one of the names it goes by is aguru. I was like, oh, snap. So if you've ever smelled oud, it smells a little woodsy. It's describing scents is always very interesting to me. And it's a warmer scent, a little heavy. And the rose oud with the rose with it, it makes such a beautiful balance that smells, I can only really describe it as it smells like Vrindavan. It's a really beautiful, sweet smell, little woodsy, little like woods in there. You've got some like mixtures. It's very beautiful. And that's this aguru that's burning now in this incense pot, perfuming the air with this scent that smells like Vrindavan, which makes sense now, you know? Garuda expanded his effulgent golden wings to form a protective canopy over the Lord. Can you imagine little Krishna sitting on a throne from Govardhan, you know, just majestically, 7 years old, with Garuda standing behind him, his great wings spread out? Like, How incredible is this scene? Sometimes I wish I could draw. Instead, I'll paint with words, but yeah, I'm like, oh, in my mind, it looks magnificent. All the kings of the snakes fanned their great hoods to serve as jeweled flags to surround the bathing platform. The various mantras and prayers used for Abhishek, like Purusha Shukta and Sri Shukta, took personal forms to chant in alternating low and high tones. The Surabhi cow contributed the Panchagavya, and Lord Brahma provided the Panchamrit. Airavata, Indra's elephant carrier, filled the gem-studded bathing pots with water from the Akash Ganga, which he carried in his trunk. The demigods in the sky vibrated instrumental music. The celestial ladies showered flowers from the Nandakanana, the heavenly gardens, while intoxicated Gandharvas, Charanas, Kimpurushas, Siddhas, Sadhyas, and Vidyadharas joyfully danced in the sky. All the Apsaras appeared to please Krishna with a special drama. Wow. So even then, every festival should have a good drama. They conveyed the meaning of the play with various dance steps and facial expressions. Upon beholding the elegant form of Sham Sundar, the famous Apsara Urvashi felt enchanted and thus devoted herself to the Lord. Wow. Taking the lead in directing the bathing festival of Krishna, Lord Brahma approached Surabhi and said, "Today is the best day to observe a happy occasion. O simple village folk, do not delay." I like how he's calling the controllers of the universe simple village folk. "Everyone queue up behind Lord Shiva, and please start the Abhishek. Before I take my turn, let the leading ladies of the universe come forward. First, Arundhati, who tried to please me, should bathe the Lord. Then Anasuya, who is non-envious and free from passion and ignorance. And Parvati, the respectable daughter of the Himalayas, who gives bliss to everyone, should step forward. Then the other exalted ladies, such as Gayatri, the mother of the Vedas, who welcomes the Lord when he awakens. Aditi, the mother of the demigods, whose love is never broken. Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and the beautiful Swaha, the wife of Agni, should bathe Krishna." Then Lord Brahma, who meditated upon a lotus, asked Krishna to sit down on the bathing platform. He began the worship by washing Krishna's feet and offering him delicious madhuparka and tambula. Madhuparka is like a honey yogurt. According to a previous arrangement, the senior ladies of Vrindavan, their hearts drowning in prema, bathed Giridhari with fragrant panchamrit, panchagavya, and the milk dripping from Surabhi's milk bag. Seeing the captivating splendor of Murari's body during the Abhishek made the onlookers question his identity. They wondered, is this a monsoon cloud being bathed in moonshine? Is it a concentration of all blueness covered with white? Is it a small hill of blue sapphires covered by the pure crystal water of gems? Is it a fresh tamal tree decorated with tiny radiant pearls? Is it a blue lotus covered with bright white camphor powder? Just like enthusiastic mothers anxious to bathe their adorable children, Gayatri, Parvati, Aditi, and the other chaste demigoddesses like Arundhati stepped forward and smeared Krishna's body with oil and fragrant cleansing powders. One after another, the 4 Kumaras and the Saptarishis bathed Giridhari while chanting mantras. Ordered by Brahma, the 4 Kumaras offered water with their folded palms. Feeling great ecstasy, the young sages cried and shivered in delight. After smearing fragrant reddish oil upon Krishna's body, Parvati and the other ladies performed the Sahasrapatra Snan. They held a plate above Krishna's head that had 1,000 holes and showered him with streams of crystal clear camphorated water. So we've seen that. In the Abhisheks, they hold the plate above the deities, and it has all the holes, Sahasrapatra Snan. This is the 1,000-hole plate, his shower. And it all comes down. I always thought, that's so adorable. Even God has a shower. So cute. By the powerful presence of the Kamadhenu, Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree, and Chintamani gems, everything required for Krishna's bathing automatically manifested. After Krishna's bath, Some pretty, chaste girls dried his beautiful body with fine, soft cloths. Different girls dried his hair, chest, hands, legs, and feet. Oh, can you imagine? His curly hair and they fluff it back. One young girl with the mood of an intimate lover wrapped Krishna's body with a fresh, dry cloth while removing the wet one and wringing it out. After they had dried Krishna's body from head to toe a few times, Parvati advised the young girls how to neatly dress him. They lovingly offered Krishna the best quality garments, ornaments, and unguents or oils, which they had previously collected. Although Krishna accepted all this on Brahma's request, he felt somewhat disturbed because his confidential pastimes with the Gopas and Gopis were temporarily interrupted. Krishna's like, can y'all get over with it already? I need to get back to the fun. Despite his anxiety, Krishna did not want to interfere with the demigods who tasted so much happiness from bathing him. Being Krishna's devotees, they tried their best to serve him with their affection. Krishna accepted their offerings but remained grave. After Krishna's bath and dressing, Brahma offered him an auspicious seat under a tree. Brahma wanted to give the utmost pleasure to the Lord by worshipping him with all opulence. Along with offering the standard 16 items of puja, Brahma also intended to chant some elaborate mantras. While Brahma was making these arrangements, Lord Shiva approached him with a special guest. And said, "O Brahma, there is a well-known saying that an intelligent person does not worry. Krishna's puja will be done by this small boy standing in front of me." So Lord Shiva walks in holding the hand of a small boy. Lord Brahma was ready to offer prayers, but he felt an anxiety. Why? Well, because he had himself created a nuisance by stealing the boys and calves. But then he put Indra in his position, and now Indra had done all of these things. So Brahma is thinking, I want to offer prayers, but now I'm in anxiety. This is a problem. So Lord Shiva says, don't be in anxiety. The puja, you will be enthused by the small boy standing in front of me. Oh my God, I'm so ready. It's so exciting, right? So exciting. Just nearby, an attractive effulgence emanated from the 18-syllable mantra, the Gopal mantra. So the Gopal mantra took the form of a small boy, which had manifested a personified form of a small boy. Little extra details about this small boy. He is stated to have a golden complexion, dark curling locks of hair, and all over his body is written the name Govinda. I love it. Never was chanting Gayatri the same for me after that. Any of you who are Brahmins and are chanting the 18-syllable Gayatri, the Gopal Gayatri mantra, now you should know that he's a person and this is what he looks like. And how cute is that? This small boy, like you can really think, oh, just come sit in my lap, just for 1 or 2 minutes while I chant these mantras, praying to the personification of the Gopal mantra. And just by his presence, he makes everything perfect. How incredible is that? Same mantra that Gopakumar was chanting. How incredible is Krishna consciousness? Like, mind-blowing. Seeing that everyone in the assembly was pleased with this little boy, Brahma said, "Oh, the Gopal mantra of ecstatic mellows has come in person. Narada Muni gave this great mantra whose meter is Gayatri to men and sages in order to remove the obstacles to bhakti from their hearts. Thus I am being completely distinguished in 2 ways. Now I will also worship Krishna by chanting this mantra." Empowered by the Gopal mantra, Brahma worshipped Krishna. Many eminent devotees attended the puja, including Narada and rishis like Shanak, who uproots all anti-devotional desires. Dhruva, the ideal of devotional determination. Prahlad, who gives delight to all. And the Vasus, who are eternally fixed in the Sattvata philosophy. So all of these people got to come and see Govinda coronated as king of the cows. So I really love that say Dhruva, the ideal of devotional determination, and Prahlad, who gives delight to everyone, because those are the poetic meanings of their names. So I love that they've given the beautiful poetic meanings of the names of Dhruva and Prahlad. Stepping forward, Brahma washed Krishna's lotus feet. Then he sat down in the lotus posture and gazed appreciatively at the Lord with his 8 eyes. Sachinandan Maharaj once said that as pujaris, it is very important. This line holds such importance for us because we cannot offer the Lord all of the opulence and all of the correct mantras and all of the things that should be there, but we can offer gazes of affection and appreciation. And so we should, as we are offering any puja, gaze upon the Lord of your heart with affection. It's all that's needed. Interesting how Brahma was like, I'm going to do all these things. First thing he does is he sits down and gazes appreciatively at the Lord. The milk ocean personified brought valuable bathing pots for the Lord, along with many big, beautiful, pure white conch shells. Brahma was anxious because there were no stands to hold them. Suddenly, Mount Meru personified appeared with many golden 3-legged stands to properly hold those conch shells. Amazing. The demigods and their wives worshipped Krishna with a variety of articles. The goddess of Kailash presented an auspicious quartz crystal lota or water pot. That increased everyone's happiness. The splendidly beautiful goddess of the Himalayas offered a fancy tray of sweet-smelling wildflowers. The Vandevis, or forest goddesses, supplied fragrant forest flowers, sun-dried rice, barley, kusha grass, sesame seeds, white mustard seeds, wild black rice, durba grass, aparajita flowers, and other natural items mixed with water to bathe Krishna's attractive lotus feet. They also provided captivatingly aromatic nutmeg, cloves, and allspice for washing his mouth. Also, anybody who's a pujari knows, once you've offered the Lord something to eat, or even before, you let him rinse his mouth, and in there is this nutmeg and clove and allspice in the water where he washes his mouth. So one might think, oh, I'm just doing these things because the head pujari and my temple president told me I should. But you are actually following in the footsteps of the residents of the entire heavenly planets. This is the same method that they're using for worship. That makes us pretty fortunate. Bhumi Devi delivered incredible natural scents. Some demigods from the Nanda Kanana forest donated an ornament made from divine wish-fulfilling flowers, along with garments of the finest yellow cloth. Swaha, the wife of Agni, offered a brilliant lamp containing ghee from Surabhi cows and natural camphor scent. The Kamadhenus, the wish-fulfilling cows, delivered an abundance of heavenly milk products. Aditi furnished many kinds of fancy cakes and sweet pies. Oh, she's a mom. I'm going to cook for him. Sachi Devi, Indra's wife, supplied enchanting tambula covered with golden pan leaves. The demigods and demigoddesses arrived from every direction, bringing valuable items to offer to Krishna. In great joy, Brahma chanted the Mula mantras to initiate the auspicious bathing ceremony. The demigods played the appropriate melodies on their kettle drums while the Apsaras danced with euphoria. The Gandharvas and Chanaras also sang with youthful exuberance to fill everyone's heart with bliss. Kartikeya devotedly held an umbrella over Krishna's head. The rishis recited purifying hymns. Brahma adorned Krishna's forehead with pleasing, artistically drawn tilak. Oh. Overwhelmed in jubilation, he placed an opulent crown on Krishna's head. The potent jewels on that crown flashed light in all directions. While settling the crown, Brahma said, "O Krishna, you are the supreme king among all kings of the universe." Hearing this, rishis like Sunanda and others loudly chanted selected prayers. All glories to the enchanter of Vrindavan. O son of Nanda Maharaj, O Almighty One, you are the charming beloved of the splendid gopis. You are the crest jewel of all the demigods. The nectar of serving your lotus feet far surpasses the bliss of Brahman. O Govinda, you are the original cause of all creation. We offer our repeated obeisances unto you. Then, because when everybody was giving their gifts, I'm not exactly sure, because they might mention it later, but I'm very excited about this. Lord Shiva gives Krishna a gift. Because everyone else was giving gifts, Mahadev should also give a gift, isn't it? What he gives Krishna is a flute that he carved with his own hands. It is said that when Krishna sees this gift, all the other gifts he let them put down aside. This gift he takes with his own hands and he raises his eyebrows. Oh, somebody knows what I like. He gives him this flute, and Krishna plays a little melody on it to honor Lord Shiva. How incredible. Much later, in the evening, because I'm not sure if we'll get to that part, but much later, in the evening, after this whole bathing spectacle has taken place, and Krishna is within his room, he feels some longing. And he thinks, for 7 days, I was able to look at the gopis, and now we've been separated. And he takes out this flute given to him earlier that day by Lord Shiva. And he begins to play a beautiful rag on that flute, which begins to call to the gopis' hearts. And with that flute, he is calling them all individually. You, Gopi, you come to me. And when all of the gopis heard that flute song of Shri Krishna played on the flute given to him by Lord Shiva, they all fall like unconscious with the bliss of longing to meet with Krishna. So Krishna is honoring all of these gifts. After there's a bathing ceremony, after the Lord is already redressed, anybody who's ever witnessed an Abhishek, what happens? Arti. We need to perform an Arti ceremony. And so they ask one very qualified person to perform the Arti ceremony of Shri Krishna, the first Arti after he's been coronated. They ask Mahadev, will you perform the Arti ceremony of Shri Krishna, of Govinda, our king, our Indra? Mahadev thinks, well, of course. But now he has to go be a pujari ready, you know? Usually he's avadut ready. Now he must be pujari ready. So let's see what Ananda Vrindavan Champu says about him getting to be ready like a pujari. After preparing himself by setting aside his snake ornaments, his skull garland, and taking a bath in the Manasi Ganga to wash off his ashes. Some other sources say that he then puts on a brilliantly white silken dhoti, because he takes off his tiger skin. Have to be pujari, you know. He puts on a very crisp white silken dhoti. He ties up his long matted dreadlocks, make sure that they're not in the way. And he comes to Krishna completely refreshed, effulgent, in all of his golden glory. Wow. Imagine. Any of us that have ever performed an Arti ceremony, I have. Now imagine Lord Shiva performing it. That is art. You ever see somebody who performs a really good Arti ceremony? Just the way they wave the incense is like phenomenal. Any of you have ever gone to the Ganga and seen the Ganga Arti? The hand movements and the way they move and synchronized, it is an art form. So beautiful. Even watching footage of Srila Prabhupada perform an Arti, it is like poetry in motion. The way he is moving the incense before the deity, He's taking his time. He doesn't have anything better to do that day. And then finally, get to the last motions. And there's incense wafting everywhere. It is beautiful. They do have that footage on YouTube. I encourage you, go look it up. He's performing arti to Krishna Balaram. And watching him perform this arti is magnificent. Magnificent. So now, imagine Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva offered the final arti. He worshipped Krishna with pure, fragrant clay, incense, patties, cow dung patties, an elegant jeweled ghee lamp, and sweet-smelling scents. He chanted various mantras to conclude the arti and abhishek. Following the Vedic injunctions, Gayatri, Gauri, Arundhati, and other wives of the demigods took turns offering arti with ghee lamps. As the worship concluded, Narada Muni merged in ecstasy as he sang about Krishna's pastime of lifting Govardhan hill. Tamburu, the king of the Gandharvas, sang along with him. Brahma distributed Mahaprasadam to all the devotees at the conclusion of Govinda's bathing ceremony. Lord Brahma gave the following order to the personified conches, jewels, kalpatarus, chintamani gems, and so on. Please decorate and ornament the sages, the demigods, and their wives. Ornament the Lord of the Snakes and all other guests. Everyone attending Krishna's glorious Abhishek received priceless gifts in charity. Feeling the supreme euphoria from successfully conducting the Abhishek, Lord Brahma looked as brilliant as the sun. Before returning to their celestial homes, all the demigods respectfully circumambulated Govinda. However, Indra and Surabhi remained behind for a moment. After the four-headed one and all the demigods departed, Krishna addressed the fearless, intelligent Indra. In a happy, humorous mood, Krishna said, "Is your anger now pacified? Tell me truthfully. You are close to me, so you should not conceal the mood of your heart. I did not subdue your anger out of revenge or enmity, but I wanted to show you how your actions were full of false pride. By nature, I cannot bear to see my own devotees possessing false pride. It is well known that such persons deserve to be punished by me. O Indra, I favored you by stopping the sacrifice. O subduer of your enemies, it does not suit you to maintain envy toward me. Now return to Swarga and enjoy your position. Do not become carried away by your wealth and lose your intelligence again." Indra listened patiently to Krishna's compassionate words and accepted his kind chastisement. After respectfully circumambulating the Lord, he went back to Indrapuri. Then Krishna anointed Surabhi with the fragrance of his pure affection and bid her farewell. Dressed in a glimmering new golden outfit, Krishna looked most beautiful as he returned to Vrindavan. It seemed as if he had just returned after only a moment's absence. All glories to our Lord Govinda, and all glories to his coronation as king of the cows and the Indra on earth. And still, I'm sure there are details in there that I forgot. We have been given the Mahaprasadam of this Krishna Katha, which Srila Prabhupada says is no different than the lip touch of Sri Krishna. So you all have been wonderfully kissed by Krishna this day. I pray that not only do we hear it, but we feel it. Krishna does not only kiss the gopis. That nectar is given to his flute. That nectar is given to his conch shell. He is known to lovingly wrap his arms around his friends, all of his boyfriends. And he lovingly tells them, "Oh, friend, don't worry. I will handle everything for you." Imagine when we are at our worst, we feel those soft, lotus vine-like arms around our bodies. And we hear in our voice from behind us, "Friend, are you well? What happened?" And we can tell Krishna all of our sorrows. "Krishna, this happened to me today." "Oh, friend, don't worry. I will handle everything for you." This is Krishna. This is Govinda, who nourishes the life and soul of every living entity. We are never without protection. We are never without sustenance. It is only an illusion. Our minds tell us, you don't have this. How could Krishna love you? How could Krishna bless you? How could Krishna be yours? But he is ours. And he does love us so much. Let us never, ever, ever forget. Shukadev Goswami ends these beautiful pastimes with the words, May Govinda, who is the Lord of the cows and who nourishes all of his devotees, may Govinda be pleased with us. That's all we need. May Govinda be pleased with us. O Supreme Lord, O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. Full stop. Like the prayer could have ended right there. Be pleased upon me. Done. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O my Govinda, who was coronated, be pleased upon me. Deliver me from an ocean of sorrows and become visible to my eyes. It is all I want. Thousands of benedictions are of no use to us. We just want you, Krishna. And he's already tested us. He's been testing us. How much do you want me? Give me all the things you think you want. You're right. You've taken all that we think we want. Now we just want you. We're kind of sure. We're sure about it. Be pleased with us. Protect us. Nourish us. Give us your causeless mercy. And glance upon us affectionately. Just one sidelong glance. All glories to our Giridhari Sham who lifted Govardhan Hill. All glories to our Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. I was reading, they were saying at the end of different discourses about Krishna Katha, the one thing that makes it complete is when someone says Govinda, 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 and they say Jai Govinda, and that actually completes the whole thing. I was like, I knew this is the path for me. It's at that moment that I understood. I knew I was on the right path. So all glories to our Lord Govinda, who makes everything complete. All glories to the abode of Sri Vrindavan Dham, which can make its appearance in every single one of our lives, no matter where we are in the world. The lotus of Vrindavan has expanded and stretched its leaves so that it can make its appearance right wherever you are. Brajabhumi Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the revealer of the Dham, without whom we would not be rich in details. We would not be rich in love. I would be so poverty-stricken. I would have been so lost. All glories to all of you. And I pray that we see the Mahaprasad of Krishna's mercy after attending such a coronation. We've been honored guests. Not many people got to see that. Some fun details is a few of the cowherd boys made their way to Govardhan Hill. They kind of looked, do you see what's happening? What are they doing with our Krishna? There's a 4-headed one and a 5-headed one and a 6-headed one, and Evan, there's an elephant-headed one. Everybody's waving these things. It's so funny. What are they doing? After all of this, the Gopas come. They say, Krishna, what was all this? And the demigods have left loads of their paraphernalia in the trees. There's pearls, there's gems. And what Krishna does is he says, I don't know, friends. And then he takes the pearls and the gems that were offered to him, and he begins to put them on his friends. And then they get lost in playing with each other, and they forget that they ever thought that Krishna was anything other than their dearmost friend. Krishna decorates his friends, and then some of the friends take the chamaras and they're waving them around Krishna, imitating that funny worship that they had seen. Such fun-loving boys. Oh, this is Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness, where Krishna is revealing to all those who have knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he doesn't care about it. Free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. That's those cowherd boys. I'm wishing you all the best day. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sitting with me for 2 hours of this Krishna Katha, 2+ hours for some of you. You all are amazing. This is austerity. To be able to sit for hours and hear Krishna Katha, that is austerity. And Krishna is so pleased. He's so happy. Oh, you want to know about me? Let's just watch and see how he reciprocates. And he absolutely will reciprocate. I am praying for a smooth and pleasant, magical journey. I'm praying to recharge my spiritual battery so that I can return to all of you glowing with Krishna Katha, even more stories than ever before. I already have a few new stories that I want to share with you all. We could spend years talking about Govardhan and the so many different pastimes that happen there. I will come back with more and more stories. Pray for me as I will pray for you. I pray that the Lord protects me on this journey. I pray that he guides me on this journey. I pray that he walks with me everywhere I go on this journey. And oh my Lord, just reveal yourself. I am going in order to see a very, very special deity of Lord Balaram. So I know there are a few friends here who have Lord Balaram as their life and soul. I'm among them. And I will try and take as many photos as I can of this deity. He is about 6.5 feet tall. He's huge. His name is Bada Dauji. Bada meaning big, Dauji meaning big bro. He's really big. You can see him from the street almost because he's that big. And he was made at the same time as the Govinda Ji deity who is now in Jaipur. So I am going to pay my respects to our Baladao, our dear Dao Guru, our dearest Balaram. So I know some of you have said, if you're going to see Balaram, can you already? I'm going specifically for him because he has called me, specifically for this Dauji. So during the last few days of Kartik, I will be praying wholeheartedly for all of you, pouring my heart out to Dauji. All of us are your devotees. All of us are your friends. Look how many of your friends have asked me to mention them to you. Oh, Dauji, please give them your mercy and remove all obstacles on their path of bhakti and devotional service. You are our guru in all of the intimate loving affairs of Shri Krishna. Please open the treasure chest of your heart. Tell us your secrets. So I'll be traveling with Anantadev, who is Balaram Shakti, and Lord Nityananda is the essence of Balaram Shakti, going to Vrindavan, which is the essence of Balaram Shakti, to go see Dauji, who is the king of all Balaram Shakti. Basically, I'm surrounded by the strength of the strong. I have the best bodyguards. So please give me your blessings that I can go and somehow serve all of you while I'm there. Nothing can be done without the blessings of your near and dear ones. So please. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much. I will see you all soon. After hopefully the journey of a lifetime. In all the best ways, not in the stressful ways, in the best ways. So now I'm going to pack all the things. And I'll see you soon on the flip side. In the meantime, write to me, reach out, send me a little note, and I'll be praying for you. Love you all. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda.